Hello. Last time we did all of this. Hello, Gariosa. How you doing? Okay, gotta wait for the kernels. But yeah, I'll be working on Rubble, at least trying to. I have an idea to use a self-fracture effect on a pillar and then use those pieces to scatter around rather than doing some random shape. I'll just wait for this to load. Well, I was watching some Blender conference videos today, and there are some good ones, like from Jess Weissman, for example. He basically has the same workflow that I do. Okay, so that loaded. We did have some effects. The sharpening effect, I think, is a little too much right now when it's trying to load the image. Yeah, it's a bit funky. Yeah, it looks like this for now. It looks kind of different though. In DaVinci, this is kind of like a preview, but this is how it looks later on. I'm probably gonna be watching Blender conference videos all weekend. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, there's good ones. Okay. So I guess I'll hide all of this rubble, and I'll take the pillar. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I don't have any modifiers, which is good, but I will add a bit more detail, just a bit more, for the cuts. Okay, and next we need quick effects, self-fracture. Then we need this to be in its own collection. Captured filler. Okay. I think. Okay, I know what recursion means. It like keeps on destroying pieces. Like if a piece is destroyed, then it destroys that piece as well. I'll just do like 2 on source limit, I guess, and then random that. What else do we have? Smooth the interior. I don't know if that's a good idea. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just gonna try it. Gotta wait. Okay. Then got this now. Could move that here, and now this has all of these pieces. So I gotta check how this looks. So I can now kind of use this to scatter around using rigid body simulation. Make this invisible. And I think this is just a... Oh, okay. Well, it has quite a few subdivisions, but I think it should be okay if I turn it into a collision. So I'll do that. Hopefully it's not too much to process. And then I'm just gonna go up. Select everything here. Okay. Then we need rigid body, add active, I believe. Actually, I think this one, instead of collision, I think it needs a rigid body, but like passive. And then mesh here. Okay. Doesn't seem to work. I think it's because I need to check animated property. Okay, still not working. Maybe... Well, I don't think this should matter. Okay. Type active. Yep. Source. I know what this does. Source of the mesh used to create collision shape. Okay. I mean, I guess base. First response. Okay. Yeah, this should be working, I think. Unless there's something here that I have to mess with, but even without the passive, it should be moving already. Let me just try it on a random mesh, like a small cube, for example. Maybe like outside of the scene, just to see. And then rigid body, yeah, that one works, as you can see. Do these have, yep, origin point is good. Let me try adding it from here. Okay, so that works. Oh, interesting. Right. Oh, that doesn't exactly remove them all. Can I even remove it all? If I want to. Remove. Okay, that worked. I guess I can maybe pick one piece here and then add a rigid body to it. Okay, so that works. And then let's do mesh. It is currently launching itself off, I'm assuming because of the friction kind of radius here. I can technically move them up a little bit. Okay. Right, that's not working. Sensitivity. Margin. Okay. Cool. Oh wait, maybe having it That's for the passive. I was thinking this was active. But yeah, if I check animated, alright, so I remember now. So having that checked is essentially like pausing it, I believe. So you kind of pick at what point do you want it to start. So if that's disabled, then it works. But I would still like to fix the bounce it has, because I think that's a bit much, if I can. So maybe do that. Yeah, that works. So now if I select everything and I wanted to copy from this, I remember there was a way. So yeah, copy from active. Hey, rich man. Oh, okay. Alright, well, that works. It's just a bit much on performance, but it's okay. You can just hash and see how it looks like. And also, it's a bit too explosive. I would like it to be more chill, like just kind of follower, I guess. Where was that though? Do I just turn up friction maybe? No, not really. Okay. Maybe I could put it to convex hull. Maybe that's better. Yeah, okay. Very cool. Now I can just pick where I want this to be. I guess maybe somewhere closer to the camera. Maybe not that close though, because we need to be able to walk through that, right? So it doesn't make sense for it to be that close. It would make sense if it was maybe like at this staircase, as if it's like a support beam or pillar, technically. And then it's kind of just falling over. We can do that. We could even pick like a certain area. Rendering that will be probably painful. Not really. No, because I mean, it's already very optimized, and it's not gonna be animated. It's just gonna be static. But yeah, I wanted to pick certain ones, like maybe like this area or something, and have maybe only this area be the active, just like broken pieces. So if I do remove for these, okay. I don't know what that's happening. Just gotta check how it looks. And it's fine if it's like clipping, because this scene itself is kind of just dark anyways, so that's okay. Now I could also, should have probably just had those selected actually, and then had them in a different collection. So let me just do new collection, rigid body. So that I can just like move it around better. So let's do that. We're just gonna repeat the same process. Okay, so that's good. I think that's pretty much it. And then if I just apply this and make it static, I can then move it around wherever I want. Okay, so now let me just remember how to do that, because I don't remember. It's been a while since I used rigid body. Okay, I think it was like you cache it first, or bake rather, not cache. So we just bake this, only selected once. Wasn't there like a... Oh yeah, there it is. It says bones, but I'm assuming it'll work on an object anyway. Okay, so there we go. Alright, I think... Yeah, you gotta click to remove the rigid body after it caches, because then you're just overlapping it, which is bad. So just bake this and then select clear constraints, I think it was. Some people also turn on a visual keying keyframe from the final transformations with constraints applied. I mean, I guess, yeah. Okay, so now there should be no rigid body. Were you practicing and watching tutorials on Blender when you started, or how did it happen? Yeah. Just not just watching tutorials, but searching the forums for it as well, whatever I could find. Also, why did that reset? Weird. Yeah. And now I'm gonna delete this, the keyframes. And now that should be... Oh, it's still not frozen. Oh. Okay. I feel like the Blender's gonna crash at any moment right now. But we'll see. Every day. I don't know. Not every day, but pretty often. There's a lot of good content on Blender, like in YouTube Shorts, for example. You can just watch that on your off time as well. Also, I should probably remove this or move it somewhere else. Okay. Oh, the rigid body is still on this. Oh. Interesting. Could have deleted it, but that's fine. Yeah, I can do it from here. Okay, now it should be good. So now I can kind of put it anywhere, somewhere like nearby. Maybe like this. See how this looks. Yep. Same thing for this. I should have probably selected it in a different way, but it's okay. This works. I'll just like place it down here somewhere. Okay, so how does that look? I think I'll make it more pale, like white. So let's try this. I think it's also the light source that I'm using, like the flashlight on the camera. I can turn off the temperature and then it's okay. So, I mean, it's getting somewhere, so that's good. Yeah. Also, the backdrop I was working on last time for Creepcast, I made some changes to it, like significantly. So where was I? Like, was it this? So this is how it looked before, and then this is how it looks now. So it's definitely way better. Okay. Good in the end, yeah. Pretty happy with it. I realized I could turn a mesh into a volume, or I guess, yeah, but then you can also displace that volume with its own set of like displace modifier. Basically, you just go in the volume tab and then you make an empty volume. Then once you do that, you can like go to modifier, mesh to volume, you just pick whatever mesh you want. Then you turn that into a volume, and after that you just add volume displace, which is basically a displacement map for volumes, which makes it look way better, rather than if you were to do it on a mesh with like a principled volume BSDF. So this is a better way of going about that. So I'm gonna duplicate this now, move it around, scale it down, whatever, the basics. Could maybe also move like this big piece out of the way, because I think it's kind of blocking the view of the stairs. And then I also want to add more plants to like the pillar, I think. Is that like actual mesh or is that from a texture? I'm not sure. Okay, no, that's from texture. Okay. Let's make it a bit more subtle, or at least maybe turn up the radius. Something like that. Okay. Let me also enable ambient occlusion, which is actually already enabled. That's good. Can I use that right now, I wonder? Let me see. So compositor, then we need always, and then, okay, no, can't really preview it. That's okay though. I mean, I can check it from here, but that's not gonna give me like the combined version of it. I'm just thinking of adding some shadows right around the edges of these. Okay. Well, in the meantime, plants. It was kind of floating, I think, but it's not a big deal. You can't really see it all that well anyway. Okay. And then the other thing I was trying to do was this, what was it called? This round thing, essentially. I just want to have a dome. That's what it is. So let's move it a bit here. And I had references, so I'll open that. Let's see. Okay, this one has like a railing. It's not really directly on the roof, but this one has like spherical glass frames, it seems. Same thing with this kind of, which is very easy to do. It's essentially like a sphere that has a wireframe modifier. So if I just do a normal sphere here, and then I just slice the half of it, and then we just go wireframe. I'm gonna also take boundary, and then maybe like turn up the thickness or something. Now we have that. It needs a bit of adjustment, but you know, that's basically it. I think this one is poking out a little bit. This. So move that down. Okay, let's see. Yeah. We can also make that darker, I think. Well, as dark as it can get, I guess, with the principled BSDF. Okay. And then we can add the same thing, except this one's just gonna be a normal sphere with like a glass material that should also have shadows disabled for it to properly work as like a glass material. So if I just, actually I have one already, so I might as well just use that. Here, I can just name it glass. Okay, so now it's like this. Texture's also carried over, which is a nice addition. But now I can actually see the area light, I think. I don't know which one that is. I think it's this. Yeah. I think I can turn this off. Yeah, transmission. Okay, so that should still affect everything else. Just not gonna be visible inside of like a glass as a reflection. My phone. Okay. It's pretty good so far. I'm thinking also of maybe having a material blend for the pillar here. So maybe have like a Z location gradient kind of used as a mask, and then have that act as a blend between like a plant type material, maybe like moss, and whatever else I have for the pillar. So I can try that. Not sure if it's a good idea to have this in this mode, report shading, because it can be a bit performance heavy, but I'll check. So let's just like first get the gradient information, and I think for this maybe it's a bit better to do by like object, maybe separate, maybe not actually. Okay. Maybe normal, maybe that's, no, that's not good either. One of these was like a global kind of thing, so I'm trying to think of which one it was, but it's not object, that's individual. I think another person also used like proximity weight, and then a UV warp to kind of extract that information of like whatever's closer to another mesh. So I could try that. Like, let's say I just do moss or something, and then, but then I would need to also have this exact thing for like all of these rigid body objects, which I can do by just joining them, I suppose. I could just kind of separate them again later. But actually, wait, if I'm doing this, then that means this is one object, which means I should be able to separate it like this, or this. It's a bit funky. Oh wait, what the hell? I guess I had that selected as well. Okay, my bad. Do this. Separate. Let me check this here. So right now you can see it's kind of like the X location for it. That's not it. That's not it either. Or maybe it's... No, it can't be though. What is the origin for this? Okay, if I reset that, maybe... Okay, that's good. That works. So just had to reset the origin, it seems. But now you get like this also affected. Which I could pretty much fix. I think if I just join it together, it should be okay. So like this. Now obviously this one's a bit more affected because of the size of it, I think. But I'll try to make it work. Okay, so next, can I just do a quick noise distortion? Not quite. Okay. What if I do maybe color burn or something? Yeah, I mean, that's a bit better. It is going upwards, which we should adjust, but it is better. Could I do maybe like this, and then scale this down? Okay. I don't know if it would work if I were to add vector math to this specifically, but I'll check. And put it on like subtract. No, doesn't seem like it. But I guess this is more dependent on like the gradient, I think. Yeah. Rather than the noise. So I might as well just do it from here. Because the noise is everywhere anyway, right? And it's just distorting the gradient, so. Okay. So I'll try this for now and see how this goes. We could technically just use the color input of this. So just take the base color and then maybe add like a bit of green to it or something. So if I do mix color, and then we take this as a mask, and then you plug in the main thing, main color texture, and then you just pick another one somewhere. I guess it's the other socket. And then just pick some blend mode, maybe like overlay could work here. Or maybe that's a bit much actually. Okay. Screen. Okay. And then you just give it some color that represents a plant type thing. Just check that to see how it works. Now this is kinda glossy, so we can use the same mask to have those areas be a bit more rough compared to the actual pillar. Now, for this one in particular, I don't want it to look like this, but I can just edit it separately. That's okay. I'll just kind of focus on these for now. Okay. So let's do another roughness modification. So we take the same mask, we mix it with this, not in this slot though, like this maybe. So we took the mask off the gradient and then we just plugged in the roughness that I have, and now I can just kind of increase the value. So wherever there's white, that's where the rough parts are, basically. So something like this, I think, could work. So now if I just plug this back into roughness, now you can see that there's no glossiness anymore where the green part is. And I could give it maybe a bit more detail on the actual noise. Not really easy to spot though. Okay. So now how does this look with like the rendered view? Very dark, but am I even checking the BSDF? Yep. Okay. So it is very dark. I could make the values higher. So like this maybe. Maybe do it like more like this. That's a bit much. Desaturate it? Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit better, I'd say. A bit more realistic. Okay, and now I can kind of maybe use this thing I made last time with the draw tool. I can put the plants here, but I think I will need to isolate the pillars and the floor, or at least maybe turn off the selectiveness on this, or whatever this is, so I just don't accidentally click on it. I think that should work. Yeah. So I'll just check how this looks now. It is kind of going crazy for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it's okay. It's doing its job anyway, so. Okay. Just looking at like the preview right now. I think my offset is a bit too far away, so I'll turn it down. these leaves may be too big. Let me check it against human model here. Or not really a model, but like a rig. I mean, they're not too big, I'd say. It's probably fine. Just gonna add a bit more random areas with plants. And then let's check how that looks. Okay. I could maybe like rotate these plants here, so they're not clipping as much. But also I think I need a bit more light, perhaps, or some way to kind of make a silhouette out of this. I think if I had like a rim light on this area to kind of show the edges, it would be better. Alright, so let's try to rotate this using a radius. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is though. I'm using a radius, but it's not. Okay, now it's visible. Nice. Control T doesn't really work. Not sure why. But that doesn't really work the way I want it to. Okay. Maybe have this one like hanging from somewhere, like this. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but I'll just see. I don't think Ivy kind of does this type of a thing though. It would be kind of more to a closer proximity to something. But it could be hanging from a ceiling also. Okay. But then in that case, I can just kind of adjust it a little bit so it's not clipping entirely, and then have some of them hanging from the ceiling. Okay. Good. And then I'll just make one, or duplicate one here, and then have it just go down from the top. Maybe like from the staircase here. I think that could work. Because the camera is gonna move upwards, so you gotta have it somewhere. It can't just be floating. But also maybe make it a bit uneven. Like this. I could also adjust the fog. Maybe like this light, light rays coming through is a bit too much in terms of the distance that they cover. So I'll just check how it will look without this much distance. If I can find where it is. Okay, I think it was this, yeah. I'll just name it fog. And turn this down. This is more of an opacity change more than a distance change, but I guess like this should be okay. Yeah. So now it has a fall off, which is a bit better, I think. It did make the light more concentrated from the source, but it's not a big deal. It's just different. Okay. Now let me check some highlight here. Then I looked away for 30 minutes and half of the scene it looks done. Yeah, it doesn't take too long. At least with my workflow, which is just make it look good, even if it doesn't make sense, technically speaking. Okay, so let's try like a rim light around this area to see how it looks. Like an area light maybe, or a spotlight. I'll try spotlight for now. Okay. And then let's do... So there's the light, as you can see. I should give it the same temperature as the other ones, so it's like a blue color. And then just adjust it. Okay. I think I will just make this like a light link, so it's not gonna be visible here, but it will be visible on these. So where was the IV here, I think. So I should use these, or select these, and then also the rocks. Then select the spotlight, go to the light link, select, there we go. Okay, so now the light is affecting only those objects, which is good. Okay. It makes the leaves pop out more, which is a nice touch, I think. Could do the same here, since there's like a direct light source up there kind of hitting it. It's just not strong enough. Something like that, I guess. Okay. Or was this one selected? Not sure. Well, now it is, at least. Okay. Next, let's maybe try more like fill lights or something like that. Or maybe even change the position of this light right here. Wasn't this one like supposed to be specifically for the stairs, I think? Like this just going down. Let me check. Well, right now it's kind of primarily for this location. Doesn't really do much down here. But I did have another one for this as well, I'm pretty sure. For the stairs. Yeah, right there. We could kind of make it more strong. I think it would be a nice contrast. But I'm also trying to not make it look weird looking. So, we'll see. What else do we got? Okay, so I think this light coming through is probably from the sun. I do have 3 of them though. Oh, I think that's actually spotlight and area lights. Yeah, they're just called sun. Because I duplicated it. Okay. So let's maybe also try to move it lower so the light is kind of coming through here instead. Or at least perhaps I can change the direction of this one. I'm just trying to like figure it out right now because I think this is a bit too much. But it looks good in this angle, you know, when the camera is kind of looking at it almost. Yeah, I think I'll need to move this further like that as well, so that it makes sense. I'm just thinking like what else can I add, maybe like on the floor so it's cool. I think I could add like cracks using Voronoi. So let's try that. Okay, so here we got the base texture. Now let's check Voronoi, and I think dirt and dust. I think for dirt it would be... Do you mean dirt as in like a dirt pile, or do you mean kind of... Or I guess yeah, dust would be more towards like the roughness of it. Yeah, I'm thinking because we kind of already have roughness on this, although it is not exactly the greatest. So I think I will also adjust that, but for the dirt I'm thinking if I should have it like a pile or not. You can break some tiles on the floor and add some broken rusted rails with vines on top. Top right thing. Well, I have like 1 hanging from top right now. I could add more. Broken rusted rails. What do you mean by rails? Check this angle. Let's do distance to edge, and then let's do detail. Normalize. Turn up the scale. Okay. And I'll just kind of contrast this. And then on top of this, I will just distort it further using noise texture, but not that much, just a little bit. So let's do the other way around. Oh wait, no, that was correct actually. Handrails. Oh, you mean like on this area? Up top? Yeah, I'll do that as well. Okay, let's also not have this everywhere, because that would look kind of odd. So I'll just have some fade outs here and there. Probably better to do it the other way around, like this. Okay. Something like this maybe. And then we can do a bump map as well as the albedo. Something like this. Okay, and then we need something like balustrade after it flattens out, or you could slap balustrade the whole way. I don't know what that is. Balustrade. Oh. So right now we got like this type of a thing going on. It's not really visible from the angle that I chose, but I can just like do this. Next, let's also mix this with the bump here, which is this thing. Or I guess I can do another bump and then plug this into it here. Distance like, I don't know, 0.4, something like that. That's pretty laggy, but it works. Just gotta turn down the detail, I think. Okay, so now I guess I'll just do a color ramp. Make it less of a expanded thing. And let me just check how it looks. I like this area right here, and that does actually have some good depth to it. I think I'll just kind of try to make it thinner. Okay. So is the camera like too low or something? Maybe not. Or yeah, probably is, because it's like at the knee level right now, so it should probably be around here, technically. Okay, let me check what keyframes I have. location. Okay, I can just do Z location like this, and somewhere like around this should be good. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Okay. Alright, so what else do we have? What is up here? Alright, just this area. Yeah, I think I need to add a texture to this because it's way too clean right now. Do that, and then also about the dirt and the dust on this. Technically, I could just move the texture I just made on the floor. So if I check this here and I kind of shift it, that should be okay. Or like scale it or something, just anything that makes it appear, basically. And I like in the center. Yeah, that should be good. But I think the most noticeable parts would be where the light is hitting, technically. So maybe like over there. This is kind of visible right there. I think that's the, yeah, that is the bump. Okay. I'll just maybe try to make it a bit more than like this. Okay. And maybe a bit more of them just kind of distributed randomly, like so. Okay. Just still kind of experimenting right now. Like that. I like this area right there. Okay. I think I also wanted to add like a trail of blood coming from like the stairs itself, and then that'll continue in the next two scenes, which is like one of them is a hallway and then the other is a room, like a bedroom. This area right here, I feel like it could use some fill light, maybe just like a bit, so that it's not in complete darkness. Or we could have some light on like this wall, just so that there's separation between the pillar and the background. I'll just check which one works better. That's too strong. Let me just turn that down. Then just move it here. We're just mainly looking at this right now. So now we can see that the silhouette is a bit more coherent compared to this. But yeah, you don't have to have it too strong either, just enough for you to know that there's a separation going on. I think I actually prefer this when it's more subtle, comparably. You know what, actually, I also want to add, you know how these are just kind of marked here with the cracks? I want to have some flowers coming out of these, I think. Like it's like an open tile or floor, and there's dirt inside. I could also maybe make a cutout from the floor and kind of rotate some of the parts so it's going like this, like a slope, and then like the inside of it is a dirt pile kind of going on. That could work. Yeah, I could try that. Did I just do it on this floor though? Like if I... Yeah, I mean, if it's just a plane, it won't have any bevels. So even if there's a bunch of slices, you still won't really see like each slice. Like so that way it will stay the same visually, but I'll just have more pieces to work with. But now I also have like these things here, which I'm not even sure if I can see here. I guess kind of. Yeah. It's supposed to be pebbles, like rocks. But I think I should at least try to turn up the value of it so it's more visible and not dark. So there's the pebble. That one is here. Turn that up. I also just do this as well. But I have it connected to a random slot, and that way every one of them is kind of different in value, like this. So that's what's happening right there. But I don't think it looks that great, so I might just not use it at all. Okay. What else do we have? Probably like this area, maybe. Now they kind of look emissive. Did I feel like I'm not looking at this through a principled PSDF, but I am, so that's odd. I guess maybe that's why I had it like on half value, so it's not too bright. It looks a bit odd. Okay. Yeah, let me just use the same material as the wall here on the stairwell. Okay, it's a bit stretched, but I can fix that. Actually, wait, is it the same material as the stairs here? I don't think so. But I think I had something here. Let me see. Let me put back to report fading here, and then yeah, it does have a material, but it's just not visible. on this angle. So I think I should either fix the UVs or just scale it, but I'll just check UVs first. I think that's what I'm using, so let's do this. Okay, that's better. And I just, no, I can't really see how it looks here in Eevee, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. It's pretty dark in Eevee for some reason. Okay. Alright, so what else do we got? Let me try... Did I duplicate this? Yeah, because if I'm gonna slice it, then these ones, like these pebbles or whatever I have, they won't really translate that well in that case. So I could maybe only have the pebbles visible for this. So like, if I just do this, now it's just the rocks. But I can duplicate the floor and then not have the geometry nodes for that. So this way it's just an easier approach if I want to modify it further. So let's do cell fracture maybe, and then do fractured floor like this. I'll just let it do its thing. Okay. Wait, is it just like... what the hell? Okay, well that wasn't supposed to happen that way. That's interesting. I don't know, like maybe this. And then what else do we got? Sharp edges, apply split edges. I don't know. Okay, now it's better. I think. Or maybe not. Yeah. Okay, so that works, except what happened here? It's like... but why is it happening like this? Huh? Wait, was this... oh, wait a minute. That's why. Why did it even put it there? I guess maybe that was like active. Okay, well, that's resolved. Okay, so now I just need to disable this one. And let me check if this even looks the same. Not really. Okay, so the cracks are not the same, which is a problem. But what if I use like a object or something? Just a different coordinate system. No, it's not really the same. Maybe UV. Actually, if I were to join these, like all of them together, and then check this generated. Okay, so that works. Kind of. I don't know what's going on here. The hell? Okay. Alright, this is a bit heavy, as you can probably tell by the stream lagging while I move the report, but let me just check. Wait, what? Is there another one here, or? I'm confused. Why is there like two? So there's multiple of these. Maybe it's like a duplicate on top of each other, and then it just needs to be merged. I don't think that merged. That looks even worse. Okay, so now I'm realizing even if I do try to like edit this, it'll not have the same texture coordinates, which is a problem. So in that case, maybe it's better if I just have this floor and then just have like maybe piles of dirt or something and have separate tile meshes kind of emerging from the floor around the pile, and maybe that will give it more of an illusion that it's actually like a broken up floor, something like that. Okay, so now for the dirt tile, I think I'll just use a normal cube, then subdivide it. Maybe not that much, but it'll be fine for now. Then make it a circle. Let's do displacement. This. Okay. Trying my best to not make it look clipped, but I don't know how that's gonna go. But also maybe try like a vertex group. But okay, maybe let's do. Okay, so let's make sure we are on the floor level, like this. Select one face. And it's not exactly. Maybe like this, actually. Could work. And then on top of this, I'll just do a weight paint. With the gradient, like this. And we'll just use that on this group. And that should be okay. I'm just checking how it looks right now. It might not be the best idea, but we'll see. Okay, so I think for the stuff around it, it would make sense to use geometry nodes here, like the pebbles and stuff. But for dirt, okay, that's not gonna work. But let me just check with like the material and stuff like that first. Duration. That's about right. And then let's do a noise texture. Pump. Okay. Yeah, maybe not the best idea to do this for the dirt. Let me actually check. Render how to make dirt. Just curious on like how others do it. Particle dirt. Okay, well that is good, but that is way more than what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's try this one.
So, in order to add this extra detail, I'll as our noise
Displacement.
In order to do that, I'm going to... So, now...
Particles.
That might be too small. Amount to display dirt. Now, of course, as I said earlier, we don't really want to be seeing all this, and as you can see, it's making my viewport quite laggy, actually completely unresponsive at the moment, so we'll come down to the display tab here and drop the display amount all the way down to 10%. We're going to change the render type to an object, and we're going to go ahead and create a big dirt particle with... All right, and we'll click on the properties here. We'll select the clouds texture, and we'll get just a scale that seems to be pretty good. Right about there seems like that, and maybe drop the strength down to 0.75 here as well. So now if we move this big dirt particle around, you can see that we do have it randomly generated big, and as we saw before, it is very big, so we'll scale it down, but we don't want it to be quite as small as the other ones this time. We'll set something, or set it to be like 0.005, that's still too big, 0.003. All right, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Settings, check the system is particles. Now, adding more particles and adding more variation in particles, DRI loaded up, and this is our plane right now. And as you can see, I'm first going to add a color ramp. For the other one, we're going to particle, except we don't have to. All right, we'll use the factor output as the height input for our bump node, and use the normal output as the normal dirt texture to the... And you'll notice that it looks kind of like mud right now, but as we get these particles added in, it will look a lot less like mud. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do a render of this up close to see how it looks. So do keep in mind that as this renders, it is actually utilizing all of the particles, right? Even though we had this display set to only 10%, that's only for the viewport. So here is our final result. And I don't know about you, but I...
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I guess it is a bit better to use particles, but I guess I could just do like a weight paint for that. technically I could do the same with this. I just need to change the material and also turn up the density of it. So let's try that. In that case, I could just have it like this, as it was before. And then just mess with the density. I just like make it a lot, see how it goes. And then we need material change, which is here. To make it look like dirt. Yeah, I think maybe if it's like smaller, it's a bit better. Perhaps. Like small, but a lot of them, I think, could be good. Let's make another window here for geometry nodes. Yeah, these areas aren't really necessary for that, so I'll just remove this. But also maybe have them like around the pillars themselves, or rather the pillar pieces. It's a bit much on the density, but I'll see how it goes. Starting to look like dirt, at least. Or some sort of debris. Okay. Next, let's check the railing maybe. This off. I'll just eyeball this. Doesn't really matter all that much since it's not in the view, so just barely there basically. But now I need to use the ornaments I made for this. Okay, but that's... yeah, I'm gonna have to separate that because it has a mirror modifier. But where? Maybe it's... I think it was just like... is it though? Wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah, it was just duplicated with the mirror modifier applied somehow. Okay, well. This here. Let's make it fit like this. Should be good. Doesn't have to make sense either. Like, it's okay if it's not necessarily the realest thing ever. As long as it looks good, basically. Yeah, that works. Very good. I do like the leaves a lot, I think. They give it a nice contrast. Now let's do another noise. Or maybe I can just reuse the one I already used from like here. It's still too clean looking right there. That's a bit better. Okay, let's move this pillar a little bit further away. But now I also have the ivy around it, so could maybe like separate this. Okay. Starting to look nice actually, with all the plants here and there. I just want to add some flowers down. Okay, now we just do... Well, that shouldn't happen, the hell. Oh, I guess it wasn't selected on the correct thing, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so... How am I gonna do this? Let's see. So let's do... Pick the mask first. Okay, now let's pick the collection. Dandelion. And now I should be able to just wait. They are appearing, but they're not too like dense, so I think I'll just need to turn that up. It's not. Why did that happen? I don't know. Okay, well, this kind of sucks. I don't know why that's happening. I could also give it a bit more geometry, which could help. This isn't the most precise thing ever, because I guess maybe it's better if I turn down the radius. Just trying to paint like right here. And now what is actually visible? That. Okay. I also need to pick the proper colors for this. Turn this up. Just a bit hard to do this from here, but it's still doable. Maybe I should just put this to like half the resolution just for performance. Okay. Now this kind of works, but I think I will still need to add additional texture so that it looks like there's dirt where the flowers are. I don't know why, like, this specific area spawns like a lot of these, and I don't know why. It's not even like dense. It's the same as everything else, but for some reason that's what happens. Why? I don't know. I could just do that, but now it's like, now it's sideways. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, how does this look though, so far? Okay, the colors are... they gotta be fixed real quick. Okay. Maybe I'll make them more yellow as well. I think that could be nice. And more desaturated. Well, that's a bit like reddish, although I am technically changing the entire hue, which makes sense. I'll just check how it looks though. Yeah, I don't mind it. Okay. What else do we got? They're not really like visible per se, with everything else going on, and also because there's no light hitting them. But I could at least give them these lights like this. No. Okay. Then I'll just select this, and then go here, and just do add. I do definitely prefer this rubble over the one that I had before, so that's good. I do also need to change the color of this frame here. I can just like use this one. And also we need actual glass material right here. Okay. That's better. Okay, let's make it not so dark and also more towards like a brown color. Alright, I'll just do a test render and then check how it looks with everything else. Okay. Let's see. Did I forget anything? Here. No. Okay. Alright. Gotta wait for this to load. Even though I've already loaded the kernels before, it still needs more for the actual render. My internet has been dying recently. I don't know why. Okay, well, that's the render. Now let's check with the effects. That's nice. Yeah, I do like this actually. I don't think I have anything on this. Well, I guess I have it inside of Fusion. Yeah, it's just a VHS. Okay. Where did I have, did I add any, like, de-hancer effects at all? There it is. Okay. Oh. Cool. So we got... was doing chores. This is looking nice though. Thank you. I do prefer this rubble compared to what it was before. Okay. That's nice. What's on this one? Just lighten, okay. Just a softening filter, basically. I do like this too, to be honest. Also, I don't think I even used the ambient occlusion. I don't think, at least. But this is the main one right here. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to see that properly anyways, so let me just do this and the AO filter, which is this one. I'll try to put it, see how that looks. Oh. There, multiply, okay. Obviously it is very strong, so I'll have to adjust that. I guess like contrast, like brightness contrast should be good for this. Okay, that's not really helping. Okay. Well, it does add shadow to crevices here, which is nice, but it's also just not that great. I mean, that's not bad. Oh. I don't think I have any lens dirt. It doesn't seem like it. Although it's set up over here. I have used apparently dirt this here. But that's like darker dirt on the camera rather than kind of like dust that I usually do. So this is the lighter version, it seems. So I'll try to mess with that. Okay. So it is technically in the bright spots, which is not like terrible. What do I do here? So I just blurred the actual main render and then used it as an alpha. Okay. Looks good, thank you, Helix. A long time no see. Okay. Should make it a bit brighter though, somehow. Not like this, like the actual texture. Then it's pretty desaturated, which I don't like. May also do this. External input. Let's plug this in. Okay. I'll just reset it, I think, and then do this. Try to make it work. Let me just redo this actually. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So if this transform is, yeah, that's just for the lens, but okay. So for this one, we'll just need a Gaussian blur for the most part. So it's blurring the brighter areas. But then when you do that, it's also losing a lot of brightness information. So for that, I'll just add brightness contrast. That here as a mask. Okay. And probably just adjust it as well. Still want to do a proper color for this though. I think if I add saturation to the main render for this, it should work. So like maybe like this. I can see it changing up there, but it's not enough for it to matter. So okay. Yeah, there's still mostly like white areas. I don't know, maybe if I change this to... No, screen doesn't work that well. Oh, that sucks. Color. No. I've never used this one. I don't know what that does. Okay. So no matter what I pick, it seems that the white area isn't really going to change much. So maybe... I mean, I could just tint it as well, which is what I did over here, but I could do it like before that step. Okay, well, let me just do it on highlights, like this. Let's see if that does anything. Nope, still pretty white. That just looks weird. I think I just want to organize this though a bit, because it's a bit cluttered right now. Do this. It's when it's too chaotic, it's a bit hard to work with, so. Put this up. Okay. So I think I'll just delete this. So let me just start from scratch. That's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, I'll just take a screenshot of this. Not the one. There we go. Export. Okay. I'll just send that to the client. Okay. This is not bad so far. I'm just thinking what else to put, but I can also start on a next scene for this, and then come back to it if I need to add anything else later on. But as a base look, it's good. I do need to add like a trail of blood coming down, like the stairway, like here, and then that'll continue in the next scene in the hallway. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, it's pretty good so far. Anyway, I think that will be it for now. And I think next time I stream this, I'll start doing the hallway scene. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. This might not even be the final look of this, so I don't know. Gotta see what happens. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you whenever. Definitely next week, because Creepcast backdrops, those are weekly, so yeah, we'll see. Bye bye.